AI, it just does not have any good applications. Hello, Catholic Controversy here, and it's going to be better for me to just record this audio only instead of having to try to set up my camera at the moment. So everyone's talking about AI at the moment. AI, generative AI, large language learning models, or language learning models, whatever, ChatGPT, Llama, Meta Llama, Amazon Lou, whatever it is, I don't know. It's all the big companies are trying, after they got out of NFTs, they're now getting into AI, large language learning models, or language learning models, or whatever it's called, whatever LLM stands for. And everyone hates it. Nobody likes it. Because it's they're trying to push it onto consumers, and it's all about we're going to take away writing jobs, we're going to take away artists and video makers, you can make things. It's basically being touted as, you can use it to make all these different kinds of arts and creative projects, and it's all the creatives hate it. And it's AI is getting pushed into search engines and what's it called? Customer service, chats and all that, and it's people just don't like it because it's just not very good at doing those sorts of things, and it's much better to talk to a human because computers don't understand all of our nuances and stuff. But it's one thing that nobody is really, really talking about is the industrial applications. The way AI is being sold and marketed is that, this can stop you from having to do all your tedious tasks. If you've got these tedious tasks and time-consuming tasks that you have to do for work that can be done by a computer, AI can do it for you. And I'm okay, that's good. Because here's the thing, at my desk job, my day job, I do a whole lot of data analysis. I'm a very heavy data analysis guy. That's kind of what my job is. And there's a lot of things where it's data analysis, you can combine the data, slice the data however you want to do, but it really comes down to a human to interpret the data in order to give you any real results. So it's I don't have really a whole lot of concern of my job being in jeopardy, especially considering that there's a whole lot of things where it's we've been trying to get robots to do my job for years, because there's other things that I do that just can't be done by a robot, that can't be done by a computer. So it's I'm not too worried about my job, but it's I was very interested in the applications of AI, because there's a lot of things that I try to do that would be very, very helpful in my day-to-day day job that I can't really do regularly because Excel is just not smart enough to do it, and if I were to do it, it would take me all week to do one thing. One time it literally did take me all week to do one thing. And then the results of that, we didn't end up really getting a whole lot of good results from it. So it's I get it. There's a lot of, but it's if I could have a computer do it for me, that would have been great, just because Excel just can't really natively do it. So there's a lot of things where it's okay, I gotta format the data in a certain way. I've gotta run through it, and there have been times where it's okay, I tried to do a thing, and it ends up crashing Excel because Excel just can't handle it. So, yeah, I was looking forward to, let's see if the computers can do it. And my work was hey, we're going to start looking into incorporating generative AI into our day-to-day jobs. I'm unlike all the other Luddites who are all, I don't want AI, AI's going to take my job, they're going to take my job. I'm let's see this. There's a lot of things that a lot of my monkey work that I would like AI to be able to do. And I call it monkey work because it's one of those things where it's I could train a monkey to do it. So I really want my AI monkey helper. Okay, so I came up with a whole bunch of different ways and proposals and ideas and things in which I would want AI to be able to help me with. When they kind of mentioned that, I'm like, okay, here's all the things that I would like AI to be able to help me with. These are all the complaints that I've had over the years with not being able to like really do full-on data analysis and find all the trends and patterns that I'm looking for. Because if AI can do good pattern recognition, that'd be great. That'd be great. But what happened is that it's like, okay, I made all these proposals. First I made sent it all out to the guys that were listed as the AI ambassadors, and then they're like, okay, these are kind of good ideas, but you're kind of overwhelming me, dude. Here's a official forum place where you can propose your AI ideas. I'm like, okay, I became like one of the most active users on this little internal forum thing. I'm like, here's all the ways in which I need AI to help me with my day job. Please help me out with this. I got a little bit of feedback and responses from that. And then I made like a little bit of a slideshow presentation showing like, okay, this is what I'm looking for. These are the kind of things that I want to be able to do. And then we got a little bit of an announcement of, oh, hey, we now subscribe to like all the major chat bots. So it's like we got a ChatGPT, we got a Meta Llama, we got a Amazon Nova, we got a Minstrel, we got Sonnet. And I'm like, okay, I made some very simple data analysis, some very simple examples of the kind of things that I want to be able to do with AI. And these are very, very, very simple test cases. Extremely simple test cases. Like, these are things where it's like, you could just ask a 5-year-old to say, hey, what is the trend? How much are they overlapping? How many things happened at the same time? How many things happened at different times? It's just a simple count to 4 kind of deal. But, these are the things that Excel just does not have functions to do. So I'm like, okay, AI, let me test you. Let me see if you can do this. Every single AI chatbot, after formatting it in like the most obvious way I could, after like formatting the data in a way that is very, very simple, I actually had to remove some things and move things around and relabel things as opposed to how it just is natively spat out by our data collectors. And every single, aside from like 5 different times with the most simplest of examples, the chatbots were like, I don't know what you're talking about. You didn't give me enough context. Or it said, well, based on what you asked me to do, I'm going to say completely wrong answer. I'm like, no. I asked you for the ones that had the reject information that said hi, and you gave me all of the reject examples. I asked for the specific kind of example, and you didn't give it to me. I asked you which events led into the other events, and you gave me which event was causal, which one was resultant, and how much of the resultant losses were attributed to individual causal losses. But no, you gave me every single event that happened beforehand, and you ignored another one. And it's like, this is going to replace humans my foot. And I'm like, okay, let me try changing it up a little bit. And it's like, no, it didn't work. And then the ones where it's like, oh, it did give me it did answer the question properly. I'm like, okay, let me add another data point to this set of data, upload it and see what you say. And then, oh no, now you're getting it all wrong again. It's like, it's all stupid. It couldn't do it. One of the most frustrating things is that it was like, okay, there's this one thing where I'm like, okay, which one was the bolt torque high rejects? And it was like, it was able to correctly tell me, oh, there were 6 high rejects on this sheet of the data. And then I said, okay, on that same sheet of data, I just changed the prompt just a little bit. So instead of asking for the high rejects, I asked for the low rejects. The exact same prompt, just instead of high, and I said low, and it said, I don't know what you're talking about when you said sheet 6. I'm like, what do you mean? One question ago I said the exact same thing and you were able to get it right, and now you don't even know what I'm talking about? You're stupid. It's all stupid. AI, it just is completely stupid. It can't do anything good. Like, everyone memes on how, like, it says that you should use glue to thicken your pizza cheese or whatever. And that you can, and that, like, adds extra eyes and extra fingers when it's generating people and stuff. And that it's, like, doing all sorts of other weird things. But when, like, it comes down to, like, actual very simple data applications, things where it's like, hey, big tech companies, GPT-4, Meta, Amazon, all you guys that are making these AI chatbots and stuff, you should really be focusing on the industrial applications and industrial data analysis. That's the kind of things where people are actually going to use this. It's like all it does now is that it just makes things that's like, oh, I algorithmically determine this. It's like, but it's like, I need actual data analysis. This is things where it's like, only lazy people are going to be using AI to generate things. It's like, it's not going to have much of an application outside of people just making spit posts and coming up with trying to do like a cheap stock footage or whatever. And it's like, right now, for the image that I'm going to throw up on the screen, I'm going to use some kind of generated AI thing. But it's like, you're not going to get any kind of real art applications or whatnot because AI can't be copywritten. The things that are generated by AI can't be copywritten. Like, you're not going to get anything serious out of this because no one's going to use it for serious uses, because otherwise whatever they put out there is just going to be public domain. And it's like, there's cases out there on that. I know, like, Legal Eagles talked about it, and like there's been some high profile cases of people that like made things that primarily used AI works, and the U.S. Copyright Office just came back and said, nope, you can't copyright that. You can't copyright the images you made for your comic book because they were generated by AI. You can't copyright your short film because you used AI to generate it. And copyright protects the intellectual property that was created by humans, not by and only humans. Like, a animal can't create it, can't make a copyright work, and neither can a computer. So it's like, right then and there, you're not going to get anything with that. And then, like, with all the business proposals and writing papers and whatnot, it's like, yeah, eventually that's going to end up coming to bite people in the butt, because AI is going to be like putting out really wacky things, and it's just not going to do well, and the world's going to become dumber, and that's going to be a problem. But it's like the actual data analysis, the real things that people want to do. Oh yeah, and also don't forget that people don't like how AI just does not give good answers when it comes to like dealing with customer service and searches and whatnot. It's like, yeah, it can kind of help with some things, but like, I know a guy who does machine maintenance, and the CNCs will give like these very, very like cryptic error codes to where you have to like go into the manual and like search through, figure out which is the leading number and which is the subsequent number, and like try to interpret what the code means. And it's like he like starts putting it into ChatGPT, and it actually gives them the answer, and it like ends up being right. It's like, okay, that's a good application or whatever, because there's just no database of all millions of permutations of these codes, except for through the chat bots. But other than that, nobody likes it with the customer service. Nobody likes going on to like Lowe's.com or Amazon.com or HomeDepot.com or BestBuy.com or any of those places and being like, oh, hey, I have this problem. It's like, I am an AI chatbot. I don't know what you're talking about. This is your problem. No, this is based on what you said. Here is your solution. No, that's not what I said at all. Well, based on what you said, I'm noticing these keywords. And it's like, no, stop looking at the keywords and actually just give me a human. And it's like, people don't like that, but it's like, even in the true industrial applications of an actual use case, something where people are actually saying, hey, I want AI. I want computers to help make my job better. They're not doing it. It's just not there. AI is not there. And with my work, I have made my opinions and thoughts and findings well known. I told my boss about it, and he's like, well, thank you for your feedback. And I've told the AI head guru people, I'm like, yeah, this is the problem that I'm facing. AI is not being able to help me in any way. And it's like, I don't want to say that I am the most wanting of it, just because it's like, I work for a company that employs tens of thousands of people. So it's like, I can't say that out of all those tens of thousands of people, I am the one that wants it the most. But it's like, I am one of the people that is really saying like, hey, I would actually kind of like this. Here's the kind of things that I need it to do. This would make my job easier. And it just isn't there. It just straight up is not there. AI, everyone who's worried about the robot uprising, don't be. Just don't be. If you're an artist out there who is worried about AI taking your job, you don't really if you're any good, you don't really have anything to worry about. If you're a coder, programmer out there, it's like, I even tried using it a little bit with the code and program. It's like, the amount of time that you spend trying to figure out the kind of prompt that you need to ask in order to get it to do a thing, you might as well just figure it out by yourself. It might be able to help you with some monkey work programming. I mean, I'm not a big programmer, so it's like all the different kind of loops and stuff that needs to be done. Maybe it'll help out with some of that. Or like if you have like a line of code and you just got to repeat it a couple hundred times, but it has slightly different variations in how it recognizes things. It might be able to help with that, but the kind of things where it's like, okay, I just need to do some simple pattern recognition that Excel just does not recognize as a pattern. It's like, it just isn't there. AI isn't there. It's just dumb. I have a feeling that eventually, the only reason that we get like this is because we've got all these tech companies that don't want to be left in the dust, because this is going to be the next big thing. And aside from NFTs, where that was just straight up a gold rush find and pyrite, where there's a little bit of application to NFTs, but not to the extent to where, oh, everyone needs to get into the NFT market. It's like, there is some real use conceptually for what AI could do. Like, I'm not going to say that, oh no, AI can't do any of this, because it's like, it could, but the thing is that it's like, AI as it exists right now is like the giant computer IBM terminals of like the 70s that didn't even have a screen, required punch cards, and would give out like could only do like very, very simple calculations. That's where we are at with AI right now. And the thing is that it's just being sold as basically being like Windows 95, 98. Like, that's how it is being sold, is that it's a fairly advanced, like, 32-bit operating system, whatever, that can do some decently complex things. Like, it's being sold as that, but it's just nowhere near that. It is the old mainframe IBM take up an entire room kind of things. Like, remember the IBM Watson from the Jeopardy challenge from like 15 years ago? Dang, it's been that long. But yeah, remember that from like 15 years ago, where IBM came up with, programmed Watson to be able to win at Jeopardy? And it's like that's kind of all that we're at right now, where you have that. But in terms of like actual real world applications, not much has changed since then, and we're just nowhere near it. And it's frustrating to me, but for everyone else, be happy, because the robot uprising isn't coming anywhere soon. All it's doing is just wasting a bunch of resources and wasting a bunch of billionaire investors' monies. Yeah, that's just it. It's just wasting a whole bunch of venture capital right now. And it's just dumb. It's gonna maybe one day take off, but once people actually get realistic and understand what AI actually should be used for and what it could be used for and what practical uses there are, we're just nowhere near it. It's just one of the many other tech fads of the current era. It's just the current era's current tech fad. All right, well, this has been Catholic Controversy, signing off. May God bless you.